channel was, my journey through autism has been crazy, totally unbelievable. And, I think that the biggest problem I'm finding is people don't know their child and they're not giving them a chance to
Mhm.
actually be out in the public and really just manage things accordingly, but at the same time, without being embarrassed. And
Mhm.
instead of being embarrassed to take your child out, I think you should still take them out because that's the only way they're going to learn how to act in public. And when the culture comes in, I find that certain cultures will choose to not bring their child out. So, in
Mhm.
order for a child with autism to actually um, to learn what it's like to be in the public eye and to kind of get that understanding of, okay, I do this and I don't do that, they have to go out. So when
Yeah.
certain cultures choose to leave their child home in solitude and just let them sit behind the scenes and never get exposure, I just
Mhm.
find that that's really a disadvantage to the child. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's why I mentioned behavior and family time. I also mentioned that that was really a huge factor because family is key, and connecting with your family before you go out into the environment is
Mhm.
first and foremost.
Mhm.
Because your family, everything, the foundation starts at home. So when you're out in the public setting and whatnot, um, those family values will hopefully kick in, even with autistic children that are high functioning. So that's really more, I guess, maybe the area I'm directing in the more high functioning children, because your children that were low functioning, they may have more challenges with that. So that was the point I wanted to make.
I think you bring up great points. I mean, certainly behavior problems, for family quality of life and parenting, stress and family impact are so impactful. But the other point you brought up is something that I've heard from other parents, that I've spoken with about bringing children out, into the community, sort of getting past your worries about, perceptions of negative social judgment and, people who are going to judge your child for having, an invisible disability. But the baby steps to sort of forming a community around your child, if you go to the same supermarket every day and you sort of get to know the staff that works there, it's like little pieces of forming a community for your child, getting to know your neighbors, that they're the child sort of, you create almost like a safer space for them, and you, because you sort of maybe reduce some of those, some of your own worries, I think, about
Right.
what might happen if you take them out and they have a meltdown, or yeah.
Right. Well, that's my point exactly. I think that bringing that awareness to families is important because they are not looking at it from that perspective. Going to a certain supermarket every week or whatever, and getting to know the staff, and I mean, I think that it's really more or less a form of just pure embarrassment. They just don't
Yeah.
want to, or they don't want to be bothered with the behavior, so they just choose to leave the child at home, and that is not really a serious disadvantage, especially when the child is young. That is the best time to actually get them out because it's more understandable when you're young. But when you're 18, 19, 20, and you take them out and for the first time, then it's going to be a problem. And, with society being the way that it is, for example, my son, he does not look like he has a disability at all. But if he gets out in public and starts acting out, no one's going to understand that. No one is going to know he has autism. They will, react first and then ask questions later.